The Human Experience is in session. My guest tonight is Fateh Kara, who specializes in Kundalini Yoga. Fateh, welcome to The Human Experience.
Thank you.
So, Fateh, can you just kind of give me an idea of how you got into practicing Kundalini Yoga?
Okay, I had been practicing yoga since I was a teenager because I needed it for mental wellness. And I had been practicing Iyengar Yoga for 10 years. And when I moved to New York City for work, because I was working as a Ford model, and I should say I was working as a Ford plus-size model, I went to the Iyengar Yoga Institute in New York City and found that it wasn't loving enough. It was too heady and too linear and a little bit cold. And not to put down Iyengar Yoga studio there in New York, because I love the practice and the people and everything. It was just that one experience that I had that one day. And so a friend of mine from Miami had told me about a Kundalini Yoga studio in the city. And so I went there and took a class and just fell in love with it. The first class I took, I knew that this was my path. I knew that this was something that I was going to be teaching and wanted to pursue it immediately.
Let's talk about that a little bit. How did you go from, 'cause I mean, those are two opposing things. How did you go from this sort of modeling career to this Kundalini Yoga practice? How does that happen?
Well, I was doing both at the same time, really. I was continued to model, and but I would go and do retreats with Yogi Bhajan in Espanola, New Mexico. That's where he lived. He had his ashram there. He died in 2003, but he was very accessible. And so I went in the early 90s and took a 2-week course called the Master's Touch. And Yogi Bhajan lectured twice a day, every day. He came in the morning and he came after lunch, and then he came after dinner. And every lecture he gave, he would give us a meditation to do. And the meditation would be anywhere from 11 minutes to, he said he never timed the meditations. He could just see when the aura in the room changed. And that's when he knew that it was complete. But it was anywhere from 11 minutes to, it could even be an hour.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about who Yogi Bhajan is? Who is that?
Sure. So Yogi Bhajan came to America in the early 60s, looking to create teachers, not followers. He wanted everybody to be 10 times better than he was. So he wanted, but he didn't simply share yoga exercises and meditations. His teachings included, it was a comprehensive lifestyle. And he taught, which allowed this radiance of the soul to shine in every facet of life. So it was like how to eat, how to dress, how to communicate, how to have relationships, how to raise children, how to do business. So he infused every aspect of life with the beauty and grace of his teachings. He started he had many business, like Yogi Tea is one of his businesses. He had a security business. He started a whole school called Super Health, which is how to break addictions through Kundalini Yoga. He taught, how to be a man, how to be a woman. It was very comprehensive. He called it humanology.
So this is a whole system of living then. It's not just a kind of posture process.
It can be if you choose to. And then there's a religion associated with it as well.
What religion is that?
It's the Sikh religion from northern India. And the guru, but you don't have to be it was very tolerant. You just came and did what you wanted. There was never any pressure at all to be part of the religion. There were many faiths that do practice Kundalini Yoga.
So what is Kundalini? Define that for us, please.
So when you raise your Kundalini, you're changing your consciousness, and every aspect of your life gets transformed. And the lifestyle teachings of Yogi Bhajan's organization, which is called 3HO, Healthy, Holy, Happy organization, are designed to support you through that transformation. And so in this way, you can live a healthy, happy, holy, bountiful, blissful, and beautiful, as completely healed and a sovereign human being. So, he would give meditations, and he would say, do this meditation for 120 days, twice a day for 62 minutes. So that's what, they say it takes 40 days to change a habit. So minimum, choose one of his thousands of meditations and just do it every single day at the same time, in the same place, in the Amrit Vela, which is the early wee hours of the morning, where the rays of the sunlight clean the earth, And it's basically about clearing out the subconscious mind continually. It's like we clean everything, right? But we don't clean our minds. So this is really tools for higher consciousness and really cleaning out the subconscious mind.
So at one point you traveled to India to learn more about this. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I traveled to India to study Iyengar Yoga. Back in 1994, I was working as a model in the city and traveling a lot. And I decided it was my time to go and meet Mr. Iyengar. And so I had written a letter, and they wrote me back saying, yes, you can come, but not until 1997. So I thought, okay, 3 years from now, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I can hold my spot with $100, and I'm going to go for it. So I actually did not go to India for Kundalini Yoga. I went there to study Iyengar Yoga with BKS Iyengar. And when I got there, there was no living, they didn't offer any living situations. So someone had told me about a place to stay down the street. And when I got in the rickshaw, the driver took me to the Osho ashram, which was about a 20-minute rickshaw drive away. And I ended up staying at the Osho ashram and hiring the rickshaw driver to be my driver daily for a month, to take me to the Iyengar Yoga Institute, wait for me during class, and then drive me back. And then the rest of the day I would spend studying Osho's teachings, which is a whole different comprehensive teaching. So I didn't go to India for Kundalini Yoga. I went to actually New Mexico to study.
Why the shift? What did you notice about Kundalini Yoga versus this other type of yoga that was so different for you?
Kundalini Yoga is nonlinear. So you can take it for the first time and be like a master at it. It's nonlinear. So it's not like you have to learn fundamentals and then build upon those fundamentals in a linear way, like going from kindergarten to first grade, and you can start anywhere and be in a class with people who've been doing it for years and years and years and be, right there with them. I don't know if that explains it well enough. But,
interesting.
It works. It's an energetic practice. So somebody who has a real strength in Ashtanga yoga or has a real strength in Iyengar yoga can come into Kundalini and feel really weak. There's different strengths that Kundalini yoga allow, that they offer. I mean, let me give you like an example. So, Yogi Bhajan would have us hold our arms up at a 60-degree angle from fingertip to fingertip, like your arms are making a V, let's say, up over your head, locked elbows. Yeah. He would have us hold our arms up like that for 62 minutes. And so after, 2 minutes, it's quite difficult. Or 11 minutes, let's say. Let's bring it down. So holding your arms up for 11 minutes. Somebody who's completely fit, really strong, muscularly, who, marathon runner, whatever, that is difficult. So it takes grit, and it takes grip, and it takes, uplifting your consciousness to go through the pain of holding your arms up for 11 minutes. It takes focus, mantra. There's mantra in Kundalini Yoga. There's mudra in Kundalini Yoga. There's something called the nod, sound vibration.
Would you say that your Kundalini is awakened?
I don't know. I know that there's a really big, for me, a distinction between joy and happiness. And when I feel more joy, and can contain it, then yes, I feel more alive.
I thought there was kind of a specific thing that happens when your Kundalini awakens. I mean, is the purpose of Kundalini Yoga to awaken your Kundalini?
Somewhat. I mean, Yogi Bhajan, I don't even think he ever spoke about that. That's kind of a trendy concept, even though it's very real. It's like raising the Kundalini without containment is not good. So we have to build this container of our nervous system to hold the Kundalini. The Kundalini is like Shakti. It's very powerful. It can blow your circuits out.
Right.
That's why I say, makes people crazy and stuff. It's like, that's not the ultimate goal, is to raise the Kundalini. It's to have all of your chakras in balance. It's to activate your power center 3 inches below the navel, ground yourself, and then elevate yourself, and then serve others. He was all about service.
It sounds like you're building yourself up to this point. I mean, is this even accurate? You're building yourself up to this point where the Kundalini can awaken? Is that even a goal?
It can be a goal. I suppose it was never really my goal. I mean, I always, as a child, felt very connected to my Kundalini awakened state. I was like, what does that really mean? I mean, my thing is, are you happy? Are you able to not be, addicted to alcohol or marijuana, or can you be you? And everything you speak, why are you speaking it? Are you conscious? Like that to me is Kundalini awakened. Are you conscious?
It's more about a sort of awareness and like bringing your body into a rhythm.
Exactly.
And
totally. Oh, you nailed it. The rhythm in Kundalini Yoga. Love it. Okay, so that's another thing that I think makes Kundalini Yoga like a distinction, is that there's so much rhythm in it. There's a rhythm in motion. There's rhythm in nod, which is the sound vibration. So there's a lot of music around Kundalini Yoga. You have beautiful artists like Sonata Kaur and, Simrit. You can go to spiritvoyage.com and hear all the Kundalini Yoga music. It's just so beautiful because it has this certain rhythm, this pulsation of the universe, the sound. But yeah, just being balanced, how can I serve today? How can I serve in a conscious way? That to me is Kundalini awakened. Kundalini. what else would you do with it? Anyways, go out and make more money. Yes, Yogi Bhajan was all about abundance and prosperity. And, he has actually meditations for creating more abundance and prosperity. He was a very wealthy man. He had lots of material possessions. You can go visit his house in Espanola, New Mexico, and see all his cars and stuff, but he wasn't attached to them.
Would you say that there is a resurgence of this sort of, I don't know, East meets West type of thinking, where these Eastern philosophies and paradigms are kind of seeping into our Western society?
Xavier, there's going to come a point, and I think we're reaching this sort of tipping point where pharmaceutical medications are not going to work, and they're not working. How many people do I know, that are taking a medication for, mental, emotional issues, and they're just not working? So Yogi Bhajan spoke about this time, that we're in, the Aquarius, this Aquarius time, where he said that if you can't make a decision in 3 seconds, you're done. You need to be able to make a decision in 3 seconds or less, 3 or 4 seconds. So this is medicine. This practice of Kundalini Yoga is medicine for the mind. Let's say you have trauma. Let's say you have anxiety or deep fears. This will just clear them. You'll feel more connected to who you truly are, like in 3 minutes. It's fast.
What do you say to someone who thinks that this is pretty much just hippie bullshit and isn't really paying attention to?
They have to experience it. We might not have a shared belief, but we can have a shared experience. And so, breath of fire, do breath of fire and pump your navel for 3 minutes. And then sit still and just notice how you feel. I don't have to convince you. Just do it. Just try it. Instead of opening up a beer, or instead of taking a pill, sit quietly, focus at your third eye point, which is between your eyebrows up at the root of your nose. As deep as you go internally, go externally. Awaken your pineal pituitary gland connection. Get the pituitary gland to secrete, which is your master gland. Activate your navel center. Do breath of fire and keep that in your awareness, and experience it. This is very experiential.
What do you think that has been your most fundamental understanding through this practice? What is the thing that you think that you've learned the most through practicing Kundalini Yoga?
Oh my God, that's a great question. I've learned the most how to be joyful. Funny, my birth name, my middle name is Joy. And my father used to validate me as, it's always talking about bringing joy into the world. And last year I had something happen to me where that joy I just couldn't seem to get in touch with it anymore. It was sort of, something happened that was really traumatic and filled me up with a lot of fear and a lot of darkness and doubt and everything. And my practice of Kundalini Yoga since that time has not been strong. And recently I really connected deeply. I took a course called White Tantric Yoga, and it travels around the whole country. And it's a 1 day, all day of meditation. And this day we did 5 31-minute meditations and 1 62-minute meditation. And it helped me. It helped me so much reconnect back to my own personal joy. Now, do I live my life like doing joy all over the place? No. And that to me is very unappealing. I think that there's an underworld and dark and shadow and light, and it's all important. But for me to feel joy inside my own heart and this effervescence inside my own being, that's important. And this practice connects me to that and reconnects me to that over and over and over again. So there's many opportunities for people to take Kundalini Yoga. They can just go onto the 3ho.org website and find a teacher. There's celebrations during the summer solstice in New Mexico. There's winter solstice celebration in Lake Wales, Florida. And it's 3 days of white tantric yoga, 3 full days. You do it with a partner, sitting across, open eyes, and then there's different mantras and things that you do. And Yogi Bhajan was very much about keep up and you'll be kept up. Focus on your third eye point. This is developing your intuition, which is what I spoke about before, making a decision within 3 seconds or less. That's your intuition. So he was very much about this third eye point, developing, cultivating your intuition, and letting your intuition guide you.
What would you say the main differences between Kundalini Yoga and other types of yoga?
Well, Kundalini Yoga, it's so interesting because I always compare, like boats. I live on the water, and I see all these boats, and they're all boats. They all float. They all have very, very similar things about them. But every boat is different, sailboats, speedboats, whatnot, right? So it's like yoga. Like yoga is all the same. It brings the same sort of end result in a way, but how you get there is different, So Kundalini Yoga is very much about mantra. So the Bij mantra, the seed mantra, I would say the most popular mantra is Sat Nam, Satnam, Sat Nam, and it rhymes with but mom.
What does that mean?
Nam. Sat means truth or light, and Nam is like namaste. Nam, it's identity. So as you inhale, mentally vibrate Sat, and as you exhale, mentally vibrate Nam with an eye focus. So eyes are focused either like up at the third eye point, the tip of the nose, or they're just closed. But for someone listening to this right now, if they want to begin, experiencing this practice, they can have a hand mudra, so they can put the tip of the thumb to the tip of the index finger, Gyan mudra, seal of knowledge, and focus at the third eye point, sit straight, comfortable, easy pose, seated position, or in a chair is fine too. And just inhale, mentally vibrate Sat, truth or light, thinking of the meaning of the mantra, and then exhale Nam. And set a timer. Do it for 3 minutes, 11 minutes, 31 minutes, 62 minutes. And anytime a negative thought comes, the mantra cuts the negative thought. It slices through it. It takes that negative thought, it cuts it, and it turns it into a positive thought. Kundalini Yoga also has, it's very spiritual and very energetic. It has numerology. It's called the 10 bodies. And I'm very fascinated with that whole, the numbers, like 1 through 10, this whole system of numerology. Like the first body is the soul body, and then the next 3 bodies, 2, 3, and 4 are mental bodies, the negative mind. The positive mind, 4 is the neutral mind, then 5 is physical body. And then 6 through 10 are more energetic bodies. 6 is the aura, the arc line. 7 is like electromagnetic field aura. 8 is chronic body. 9 is the subtle body, and 10 is the radiant body. So he was all about like this radiant body, like extending from your aura out to infinity in all directions. projecting your consciousness out to infinity, like really expanding yourself. So it's a physical practice because there is a lot of physical, we do a lot of rhythmic movement combined with mantra and breath. But it's about really expanding your consciousness and your awareness, becoming more sensitive and subtle.
Can you perhaps kind of disambiguate what the different asanas are? I mean, I know that all of these different yoga practices, they have postures that they use, but how is it different with Kundalini Yoga?
That's a really good question. And for me personally, having studied a very bony alignment practice of Iyengar Yoga for a good 10 years before I even thought it was possible that there was any other valid yoga system on the planet. I was like, Iyengar Yoga is the only yoga. And it's true. Iyengar Yoga is great classical foundational work. It's like if you're a musician, you start on the piano, sort of thing, and then you play other instruments. So I came from a very classically alignment-based practice physically, and the bones and such. The Kundalini Yogas, I can say, aren't too concerned with that. There is, every pose has a posture to it, and of course they're concerned with bone alignment, but it's more of a chakra alignment. It's more of an energetic alignment they're looking for, Let me see, I have a book here right in front of me, Yoga for Women, and there's Cobra Pose, and you go up into Cobra. It tells you what the pose does. It increases flexibility and rejuvenates the spinal nerves. Combined with deep breathing or breath of fire, it massages and expands the rib cage. It's particularly helpful in relieving tension in the ovaries and uterus. And so, yes, this is very physical practice, but it doesn't just sort of stop there. And I'm not saying that Iyengar does either. I hate to compare. I have deep devotion to many practices, but this is just, it's so prana. It's like breath with breath of fire, and it's a lot of holding of the breath in and out. And it's the mantra, focusing at the third eye point, and using the mantras. A lot of brain stimulation, like crossing, alternate, a lot of stuff with the arm circles and keeping the arms up. They call a forward bend, one of the postures is called miracle bend, and that's simply just standing in Tadasana with the arms over the head on the inhale, and then the exhale, bending forward, touching the ground. And then you would do that quickly 26 times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's very similar physical practice, but it sort of takes it to another level. It's very creative, very playful. But then, we do tree pose,
What's the understanding in regards to, how do I say, I don't have ovaries, so, you're a man's personal power or energy.
Yeah. Well, think about it. In the man, the ovaries are outside of the body.
Right.
They're your testicles. So energetically, you still have, this creative center, your reproductive organs, your power, your second chakra, So it all relates.
Is there any sort of body of understanding that talks about preserving that sort of life force for men?
Wow. Yes, in a way. Ayurveda talks more about that, like the rasa, that sort of like juicy, that's more, I would think, like Ayurveda, practices, which is also linked to this. But this does definitely keep you energetically potent, in that way. Yeah. You're potent. Your words are potent. Activating the power center, the navel center, which is where you were connected to your mother in the womb and the placenta, this power center into the tip of the tongue, and where you vibrate your words. If you speak from that place, everything becomes more potent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, any last thoughts or anything that you want to get out there as far as message?
Just serve, teach, do what you love to do, serve others. That's why I love teaching. So service in a sense, I'm giving, helping people to feel good. Empower yourself. Become self-empowered. So self-empowerment in a way that just connect back to the things that you love to do. Connect to the earth. Do the things that make you happy, like really happy.
Yeah.
And
I like that message. I think that's a good message. Is there, Fateh, is there a website or place that people can find out more about your work?
Well, I have a website. It's yogawithmia.com. Mia's another name that I have.
Your government name?
No, I have a different government name.
Oh, okay.
I have a different birth name. So anyways, so yogawithmia.com. I haven't been able to update it lately, but you can email me through that website. And but I also encourage them to go onto the 3HO website as well. There's an app. There's a wonderful app as well. It's just 3ho.org. And everything they would like to know is there. It's really a great app.
I really like that you're kind of pitching the whole organization, not just your studio. Most people would be like, "Oh no, come to my studio," but you have a broader message, which I think is cool.
Yeah, because that's what Namaste is. Like Namaste is, if I can look at somebody else as though I'm just looking in the mirror, and I can see myself in somebody else, and they can see themselves in me, and we look at each other like there's no separation, we're just one, which is what Namaste means, this world would be a much better place to live in. I want to live in a world that everyone's feeling good, not just me. Like I want everyone to be happy, everyone to feel good. So we can all play. I just want to play, I just want to have fun, Let's have fun, So that's really my purpose. It's not just about me putting some money in my pocket or getting followers or anything like that,
Yeah. Well, Fateh, thank you so much for your time and your presence, for being here. This is The Human Experience, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.